What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist. Still haven't gotten a haircut, but I'm back to answer your questions with
Gershwan
in another episode of For the Greater
WAAAGH! This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what the Fish Guy 95 did. He asks, if time in the warp doesn't make sense and the Primarch babies were thrown into the warp, then couldn't we theoretically get the missing Primarch babies? Slightly, more than likely, no. If you want to follow the true story of Warhammer 40K and the Primarchs, the reality is that we did encounter the Primarchs at some point in the history of the Great Crusade, and they were...
well, before the Great Crusade.
Right, and then they were not destroyed, but they were...
lost and forgotten.
What is it? What is it called? Expunged? No, but it's...
The Edict of Obliteration?
Yeah, there you go. So they were obliterated from the history books, meaning that at some point they had to have made history. So getting babies that come out of the warp might not be an actual thing, but if you want to put that into your own fan-twisted lore, go for it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing... Or you could argue against the true story, I guess.
Right. And like that's the thing about the 11th and the 2nd Legion, is that we know they were there. In like some of the novels from the Horus Heresy, you have the Primarchs talking about the lost Primarchs. But they're just like, oh, we're not supposed to talk about this. And I think there's like a throne room with like shrines and pillars of every Primarch. And like the pillars for the 11th and the 2nd are like crumbled away or something. So we know they were there.
Because we look at 40K images so much. If you ever search on Google Terra art and then you filter to like the big ones, you're gonna see an Imperial Palace image that's an official GW image. And if you zoom in, this is why you should do large pictures, but you can zoom in and you could actually see each individual, what is it called?
Plinth.
Yep, and then you have each Primarch, and you can actually pinpoint what Primarch it is and stuff like that. And then I think you have the two missing ones there. Oh. Which I didn't know until recently that I zoomed in really close and I was like, wait, this is what like has been in the story for all along, or in the lore. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Next question comes from Kevin Newby. Is the Skitarii really inspired by the Roman Empire? Kinda. I think Greek and Roman military can be found within pretty much everything Imperial, right?
Yeah.
Space Marines, Imperial Guard, Adeptus Mechanicus, they all borrow from Roman and Greek.
Right. Well, I mean, throughout all history, like their tactics have been passed down through the different empires and whatnot. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Next question.
Kim Jensen. Would you guys ever make a video where you blaze a J and then watch your latest episode of The Greater WAAAGH?
If we do that, I'm gonna fall asleep. We've gotten this comment before. Our voices are soothing, and we would soothe ourselves to sleep. Mm-hmm. I don't think our voices are soothing.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Defuo06. When Leman Russ left his Space Wolves, he made a promise that he would return during the Wolf Time. Now, to me, Wolf Time means some sort of apocalyptic event or great crisis. The rumors are still going that Leman Russ is the next Primarch to return. So, in the future lore, do you think there's going to be an apocalyptic event going on? What would it be? And do you think this would trigger him to come back into the 40K timeline?
Yes. Now, the Wolf Times was supposed to be the end times for all of the Imperium.
Right.
I would not be surprised if GW goes back and says, no, in reality, it's just a big event for the Space Wolves.
Right.
For instance... their gene stock is going to get destroyed again.
Which it already did.
Yeah, by Magnus or something like that. Then yeah. But maybe if Fenris is going to get like blown up and Leman Russ comes back, then they can justify the end time or the Wolf Times.
Right. Or maybe it would have to be like... No, that's not going to happen. I was going to say maybe somehow every Space Marine chapter starts to become wolfen. And then they're like so feral that Leman Russ is the only one that can tame them or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's got to be something good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is.
And hopefully we get that. I really think that the next Primarch is going to be Fulgrim. But yeah. Because Slanesh.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because we get 1 loyalist and then 3 chaos Primarchs.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Because I was talking to this this guy at the GW store, and he was explaining, because I was like venting to him about how we didn't get a new God School Magork Thraka model. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. And basically, I was telling him like I really wanted that model, and he said, yeah, there's no way that GW is going to come out with that model because he's a big name character, and whenever you see a big name character, it has to be it has to come along with a lot of like lore and stories, because that character is going to sell books. So he said there was no books coming out, there was no talk of books, therefore God School was not going to come out. They're going to hold back and then bring him out when they can bring him out with like a big campaign or whatever. So with Slanesh coming out, I really hope that we see
Fulgrim.
Yeah, stories that coincide with Slanesh, and like the Black Library puts out a bunch of Fulgrim stuff. And yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Atticus X. Do you guys play Total War Warhammer? Do you like Fantasy Warhammer? So Age of Sigmar, like I love the Age of Sigmar models. They're beautiful. They're amazing. Now, the fantasy, or the actual game I've never played.
No, me either. I'm in the same boat.
And then as far as Total War, I watch a lot of YouTube Let's Play of Total War. It looks like a really fun game, but no, I've never played it.
Looks interesting, but yeah. Faking it, 66. Now, if Gork and Mork exist in the warp, could they attack a Chaos God? And what's really stopping them from doing that?
Chaos Gods are probably more powerful. And on top of that, they're not physical things. Khorne is not a physical person sitting on a gold or on a skull of thrones. We can't comprehend what they really are in the warp because we can't even comprehend the warp. Same thing with Gork and Mork. They're not actual people. They're not gonna go throwing hands in the warp. It doesn't. That's not how the warp works.
Which is weird, because like when Khorne, well, because Zeech tricked, who was it?
Slanesh?
No, Zeech tricked, like it was a bloodthirster. When he tricked one of Khorne's strongest bloodthirsters to actually attack Khorne, and like Khorne got so pissed, like he literally like slapped him through the warp. So it's just, I'm just trying to think like,
how did that happen?
Yeah, since like they're not like manifestations of like physicalness, how do you hit something that's not really there?
Yeah, and at the same time it's there.
Right, it's weird. I mean, I guess it could be. Could it be? The world will never know.
Yeah. Next question.
Uh,
I have one from Marcel Goussard for you. How do Tau make love / offspring?
Well, you gotta lather yourself in a rich and creamy bath of pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Once that is all lathered up and bubbly, you rub it all over yourself, and then you gotta put on some like stilettos to give you that kind of hoof-like feel. And then you gotta go out into the wild. Get as far away from any type of humanity possible. Like go into the woods or deep in the ocean and just perish. Your soul will ascend into the plane of Tau, and there you can have all the magical Tau women.
That's pretty cool.
And then you can do whatever you want with their forehead slits.
That's gross.
Is it though?
Yeah. Next question comes from Irkin Probe. Why does every person of significance in the Imperium have soldier plates that go above their heads? What?
Say that again?
Why does every person of significance in the Imperium have soldier plates that go over their heads?
Oh, I think you're talking about like their shoulder pads, why they're like so beefy. I mean, if it's that, shoulder pads exist to deflect incoming fire. So the reason why they'd be up to their heads would be kind of to add more protection to their head. Vital point.
True.
But yeah, I'm not really sure what that question's asking.
Yeah.
Good attempt, though.
Next question. I have one from Lauren Tyus. How teleportation works in 40K. We'll see, you go talk to a Mad Doc, and then he tells you to go to the Big Mac, and the Big Mac builds a teleporter machine basically it destroys every single particle in the orc, and then it regenerates that same structure with those same atomic particles in another place. So in essence, you are killing this person and bringing him over here.
Just don't put any flies on that person, because then it just gets nasty.
Nasty, yeah.
Now, this one isn't a question, but it's a pretty interesting topic. So he's like, hey guys, love your videos, keep up the good work, and here's a suggestion. 40 most stupid decisions of the Emperor. So I'm going to make that into a question. What do you think is the stupidest decision the Emperor ever made? I've got like 2 or 3 running in my head, but I have to say that the stupidest one is not telling the Primarchs about the Golden Throne and like the Webway project and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, why keep them in the dark? Like, they're meant to be your tools. You know, maybe Magnus could have been more helpful. You could have prevented the Horus Heresy if you were like keeping everybody in the know. But no, he's selfish.
Yeah, I think his stupid mistake was feeling compassion for Horus. He should have killed him outright.
It was his favorite, though.
Yeah, but he should have just been like, nope.
It took him a while. He did get to that point, though.
Well, yeah, but like if he would have just, as soon as the battle commenced, because the Emperor and Horus did fight each other at the end of the Horus Heresy. They were on Horus's flagship, and the Emperor, I mean, he saw that he killed Sanguinius. Sanguinius was on the floor, dead. He should have just like decapitated Horus, ended the Horus Heresy, and he would have ended up alive.
Yeah, but again, it's like it's his favorite one. He thought that maybe fighting him, through fighting and like, you know, share the exchanging of blows, maybe he can get through to Horus, but he was too corrupted, and the Emperor, I guess, couldn't see past that.
Mm-hmm. Last question, you got one? If not, I have one from Yasuji. I think that's your name. Are there Chaos Adeptus Custodes?
No, they're incorruptible.
Just like the Grey Knights.
Mm-hmm.
They are the purest of the pure, the baddest of the baddest.
The goodest of the goodest?
Yeah.
The est of the est.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to share it with your friends. That's a completely different outro. That's not the outro that I do for this. You do the outro for this.
And that's all the questions we have for you today. If you guys, right, that's the intro. Or that's the outro.
The outro, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys didn't get your question answered, keep on trying next time and next time. Or if you see a question that you really liked, hit that thumbs up button so it can be moved to the top and we can see it clearer. Don't forget to put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. And of course, we'll see you next time.
Gershwin.
Sound Alchemist. And then we're out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.